So with y'all people, man, it's C Young, and I'm back with another edition of Cecaps. You know, it's been a lot going on. We have the Snowfall finale going on, and then just recently we got episode 6, I believe, of Power Ghost season 3. So I'm back in this bitch. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna do a review of episode 6, and then I think moving forward I'm gonna go ahead and go with the rest of the Power season. I'm gonna do a Snowfall finale recap, and we back with the Cecaps. So I'm gonna just get right into it. If you see me looking to the side, it's because I got my notes on my laptop over here, so I'm gonna be looking over to the right, kind of going through them. But we're just gonna go through this episode play by play. All right, so the episode 6 of Power Ghost. Let me see if I can get the let me get the title of the episode real quick. Was it Power Ghost? I knew this was not gonna be an easy task. The Land of Lies. Okay, that's cool because I want to talk about lies a lot when I get into this episode. So the episode opens up with Lorenzo. He's in the morgue. Monet, who of course Mary J. Blige plays Monet. She was just looking on. She identified his body, so it was confirmed that Lorenzo passed away. So then the first 5 minutes of the episode is kind of just like everybody's figuring out the news of of his death. So we see a scene of Diana, she doing her thing, she smashing Salim. We got Drew, he drawing niggas and shit on some shit. And then Kane, he gambling. So they all get a call or a message from them. Oh no, they all get calls from Monet, their mother, just letting them know that, their father passed away. So all of them are in shock, obviously, because, what the fuck? Poppy, their Poppy's gone, you know what I'm saying? So the next scene, Reek is in the room. Tariq, he's in the room with Effie. He's still fucked up because he found out Lauren's still alive. So they're in the room laying down. She's saying he's been acting kind of funny lately. And bro, he being dry. He's kind of disgusted. He done found out his bitch, he's been lying this whole time about shit, hiding shit from him. So he really just trying to, what's the word I'm thinking of? He just trying to like process all the bullshit he didn't been hearing all this time. So man, I feel real bad for Reek. But yeah, they're in the room talking, and then they find out about Lorenzo passing away on the news, like a news article. Then it goes to a scene with Sax and Davis finding out about Lorenzo's death. So the first 5 minutes, like I said, was just everybody's figuring out the news. It's big news. And Davis tells Sax like, hey man, I want my brother out. He been trying to get his brother out for the last couple seasons, or at least the last 2 seasons. So bro's like, shit, we got to get this shit moving. Like, we got to get my brother out. So the next scene we see Lauren. She's coming into her house. Nobody's at home. Her mom and dad's not home. But of course the dirty cop Jenny pops up, and she tells her like, you need to come back. And Lauren really not really going for it because she heard that last week that Sax said she ain't really got to be here. So she like, nah, I want to stay with my mama. Like, fuck, I'm trying to see my people. I'm trying to get back to my regular life. Jenny blackmails her, saying, it's gonna be bad for you if you don't come back to the witness protection. And it's funny because she didn't really say what the fuck could happen, but Lauren was just like, oh, okay, fine, well, just set me up an interview with Sax and we good. So then Lauren, she goofy, she not street, so she don't really know shit about the law. She already pretty much got manipulated into this situation. So of course she goes back. So then next up we have a scene, another goofy classroom scene. Like I'm so tired of these classroom scenes. And I'm gonna just tell you why. Because to me it's just unrealistic. Like for somebody who like me, I went to school, I went to college. Class is nothing like that, bro. Like niggas is not all having a little deep ass talk about some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just, class is nothing like that in person. Now I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. The school is supposed to be, was it Stansfield or whatever? It is supposed to be a high sedity, like bougie kind of campus or whatever, and it's supposed to be for like rich people. It's supposed to be an expensive school, but it's like, damn, bro, these classroom scenes are just like, they are forcing it, bro. And I've said it on Twitter, like I don't know, I really just don't. The classroom scenes, I'm good on them, but another one of those. And then just disrespectful. Everybody just disrespecting, talking about Diana's dad. She's not there today. And they're just like, oh, just talking shit about Lorenzo being a criminal, weird shit, shit that would never happen in a real classroom. And the teacher's like, oh, we don't need to be talking about this. And Then Tariq just out of the blue, and I didn't notice this the first time I watched this. Like Tariq is just going crazy. Y'all need to get off Diana talking about her dad and this and that. Like, you know, bro was really it really hit me because they showed a shot of Diana's boyfriend. What's his name? Salim. They showed a shot of him. He looking like, hold on, brother, you talking about my girl a little, you defending my girl a little bit too hard, brother. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that kind of planted the seeds already of what we'll see later in the episode of you know, Tariq and Diana. But yeah, so that was the classroom scene. So the next scene in the episode, so the family's all together, you know, Drew, Monet, Kane and Diana, they're all at the kitchen and they're trying to figure out, like, you know, who did it. They're trying to brainstorm who killed our poppy, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, Drew is saying, oh, I heard it's the Russians, or, you know, he's trying to say it's the Russians. And then Kane and Monet, they branch off together and have their own little solo talk. Kane has his suspicions and Monet's like, you don't know what you're talking about, boy, you better chill out, you a dummy, you know what I'm saying? Don't be trying to think for yourself, you know, just playing this man. And Kane, you know, I gotta give it to Kane, bro. This season, Kane has really gotten into that role of, like, being more quiet, playing shit more smarter, you know what I'm saying? Like, last season, the season before I just got some shit on. Last season, the season before that, you know, Kane was kind of looked at as, like, just a muscle, not really somebody who's using their brain, not really somebody that's like a leader. But this season, he's kind of keeping it more quiet and figuring shit out, you know, quietly instead of, you know, just muscle. So yeah, I got to give it to Kane. But Kane kept it quiet, you know, that was into that. The next scene we see is it Kane and Brayden? Nah, I think it's supposed to be Tariq and Brayden. I put Kane and Brayden fighting. Tariq and Brayden, they got into a fight. You know, Tariq's mad, of course, about Brayden and Effie lying to him. And so they get into a fight at their job or whatever, at their internship, at Reek's internship. He beats the fuck out of Brayden, by the way. But they talk about it, and Brayden tells Tariq that, you know, Lauren was caught on the wire, and, you know, Effie pretty much took over the situation, and Kane knows about this shit too. It's just all messy. It's all messy, bro. But, you know, if you ask me, I think Brayden and Effie, I don't think they did the wrong thing, because if Lauren was on the wire, it's like, you know, they gotta do what they gotta do. But I feel like they should have at least kept that real with Tariq and told him, you know, like, hey, we did this, instead of thinking that the lie was gonna last. But I mean, I guess they thought they killed her, you know. So, but yeah, that was all about that. You know, Reek beat the fuck out of Brayden. But next up, we got Councilman Take and Cecaps. They're talking politics, boring, yawn session. But you know, we get another blackmail thing because Councilman Tate says that he wants Sax to get Davis to do some things for him, and in exchange, I forgot. This shit was boring. Anyway, next scene. So more boring shit. You know, the lawyer or the little dirty cop Jenny. She's hella anxious. She's shady. Sax a clown. But anyway, they meet up, and you know, Sax is confronting her about all the lies she's been telling. And Jenny blackmails him and says, you know, if you don't want to cooperate with me and be my CI, I'm going to include you in this RICO because you know a little bit too much. So just more blackmail, bro. You know, this show is always about blackmail and, you know, just more blackmail. So now Sax is tied up by the balls, and he can't really play that role of trying to help Tariq and help Lauren. He got to play his role so he don't get included into the RICO. So next scene, we see Reek and Effie, they're in a car. Reek rented a car, you know, nice little red car. They drive into the middle of nowhere. We don't, you know, at this point, we don't know where the fuck they're going. So they go to the spot where, I guess, where supposedly Effie dumped Lauren's body, I guess, or supposed alleged body. And Reek is trying to get Effie to confess, you know, and she don't want to confess. So Reek starts, you know, he starts doing more dry snitching, like, nigga, why you dry snitching, bro? Like, I know it's your girl, but, like, you know, you dry snitching. So he starts talking about how he killed that bum ass nigga Ray Ray, and, you know, he dropped him because of his sister. And then he starts talking about how he had to do what he had to do with his mother, you know, to get rid of his dad, and just doing all this talking, bro. You supposed to be street. You know what I'm saying? He is a real street nigga, by the way. But I'm just saying, like, bro's doing too much talking. But he's trying to get Effie to be a little bit more vulnerable and open up. And she starts talking about how she got molested by some dude that was dating her mom. And when she tried to tell her mom about it, her mom, kind of dismissed it. And then her mom married the dude. And then shit just went left, like I like that we got to learn a little bit more about Effie, because that's one of the characters we don't really know a lot about. But that shit went left. She started talking about that. I started getting a little bit uncomfortable myself. But she starts talking about that, and it kind of just shows us how gives a little bit more insight on how she is the way she is. So I appreciated that. And then Reek says, fuck all that. Like, is it something else you want to tell me? Like, you know what I'm saying? And, she says no. So just real quick, my opinion on, they have a little argument outside, and he's like, so, you didn't, he's saying he knows about what happened to Lauren. She don't, she act like she don't know what he's talking about. But then she ends up saying, the bitch was wearing a wire. Like, I was trying to help you. You weren't trying to do nothing, and blah, blah, blah. You know how this shit go. She wearing a wire. She snitching, whatever the fuck. And Tariq, I ain't gonna lie, bro is in his feelings. I'm gonna be honest. Like, somebody on the wire, if it was anybody else on the wire, bro, he would be with that. But, Lauren was his girl, so I understand that. But bro definitely in his feelings. Like, I understand him being mad about them lying, but I mean, it's not like they didn't do nothing wrong other than lying. It's not like they did nothing wrong. But let's see. I don't know. I feel like this episode just showed me how, just to touch on this scene real quick, it just showed me how, like, in this show, how being honest is sometimes the better option. Like, with Monet, if she was honest with the kids about what happened to Lorenzo, what really happened to him, I feel like they would have understood. And I'm gonna get more into that later, but you have that, and then you have Reek. I feel like if Effie and Brayden would have told Reek the truth in the beginning, instead of holding out and lying, just being honest, I feel like that would have helped. Even though he would have been mad, it's better than what we got now, where he's pissed at them because they lied. He found out they lied. And even with the Lorenzo situation, I mean, I feel like he was fucked either way for killing Zeke. But even if he would have came out sooner and told Monet what really happened, maybe it would have been, more grace than what was given in that situation. But I don't know. That's what this scene kind of made me realize, because Effie, if they would have just kept it real, it would have turned out different. But Reek ends up leaving Effie at wherever they're at, and he makes that bitch walk home. Ah, man, that was cold-blooded. But yeah, he leaves her there, and he dips off in the rental. That whole scene just made me think, like, what was he gonna do? Like, was he gonna kill her? Cause when she tried to pull out the strap, he was like, "Oh, what, you gonna kill me?" Like, so it's like, bro, you rented a car, you took her in the middle of nowhere. Like, what do you expect her to do? Like, nigga, what was the plan? Why did you rent a car? Why did you do all that? Y'all could have been at the crib, and you could have asked her that shit. Like, that same scene could have happened at the crib. I don't know, that scene didn't really make sense to me. But yeah, next up, we got Sax and Lauren talking more boring shit. I really hate Sax. I'll just say that. He starts spilling all the beans. Lauren's like, what if Reek didn't really have nothing to do with this? And, I don't want to get him in trouble for something he didn't do. And Sax is like, oh, but he did all this other stuff. He just starts spilling all the beans, just like the pig he is. Just talking about, what Reek did in his past, talking about putting all his information out there with his family, all the information that, I mean, I guess he would know for a fact, obviously, but just shit that really Lauren don't really need to hear, poisoning her mind. And I didn't really, it just reminded me how much I hate Sax. But they, they had their talk, and it's kind of reminded me of how Kanan poisoned Reek's mind, telling him about his family's past. I feel like in a way this was kind of that in the opposite way, with Sax trying to fill Lauren's mind up with like, oh, Reek, he did this, he's not a good person, he's lying to you, you don't know the real him, he's a monster. It kind of reminded me of how Kanan tried to get in Tariq's head, telling him about his dad and how, how he really is. It just kind of, it was kind of some similar things with what was going on. But next up, the next scene, so Effie and Brayden, they try to get in the stash house, and they learn that they're kicked out of the business, so they kind of get into it for a little bit. I think Reek's still in his feelings. I think he's in his feelings, But next up, Kane and Reek meet up. Kane being hella disrespectful. Bro called Reek a bitch. He told him, try me if you want, see what happened. I done said this before, but Kane is NBA YoungBoy, man. Menace. Kane's a menace. But yeah, they start talking about what happened, and Reek is like, well, them two is cut out. It's just you and me. We the business now. And once again, Kane playing it smooth, like he just smirks and he doesn't say anything. So next scene, Brayden meets up with Kane. Kane tells Brayden he wants to watch their money. He wants him to watch their money behind Reek's back. And Brayden's like, I'm kicked out. I can't do that shit no more. But I think Kane is right. Like, Reek is in his feelings, and everybody need to be on board, because Noma not playing. She made a deal with all of them. Like, you can't just cut niggas out, because I don't think Reek and Kane can get all that product moved alone. Like, we need Brayden, we need Effie, So bro got to get his feelings. Everybody got to be on board. But yeah, so after that, all I can say is, man, Reek be getting disrespected by Kane. Like, bro don't want no problems with Kane, obviously. But next up we got, and I know Monet had told Reek to like fall back on bro, but like, damn, bro, at least talk shit back. You know what I'm saying? You looking like a hoe out here. But in next scene we got is Lorenzo's wake. So it's one nigga, I don't know his name, but he was being hella disrespectful. He asked Drew and Kane about, why y'all ain't sliding for Renzo, man? Why y'all ain't sliding for Poppy? And he's, talking about how, he's looking at Monet like he, like she a piece of cake. He trying to hit that. And Drew is not feeling it. Like, Drew's ready to crash at the wake. He's not playing. But Kane, once again, I got to give it to Kane. Kane's playing it smart. He's trying to get Drew to chill out. And I got to give it to Kane, bro. He's learning. He's learning the game. He's learning how to, be more calculated with his moves. But Drew gets moved out the way, and Kane just looks at bro and just walks off. He doesn't say nothing to him. So, Kane a slime. So, Kane, he playing it smooth. So next scene we got Drew. He want to slide on the Russians. Monet's like, hell nah, nigga, you need to chill out. We don't, Monet trying to play it cool. So she's like, we don't really know that for a fact. I'm gonna let you you could take Lorenzo's place, but you gotta chill out. We ain't doing no retaliating. Next we got Salim. This is still at the wake. Dude is being hella nosy, bro. He's asking all these questions to Diana. He says criminality has its own fate. Your father's choices led to his demise. Like, bro, you don't even know her like that, bro. Like, you speaking on some shit you read in the article, Like, bro is hella nosy, hella weird. But he's like talking to her crazy. He's telling her to be reasonable. Like, bro, this is a wake. Why are you talking about this right now? Why are you not letting her grieve? But Diana kicks bro out, rightfully so. He shouldn't even been invited. He gets kicked out of the wake. And then next scene, we see Reek, dumbass, try to get into the internship building. His access gets cut off, obviously, because, like, bro, you and Brayden just got in a fight. Like, you cut him out the business. Like, why you think you still gonna have an internship? Goofy. But Brayden comes out. He talks to Reek. He tries to get, talk himself back into the business, because Kane in the previous scene, I forgot to mention, he told Brayden, you got to find your way back in the business, my boy. And so Reek and Brayden talk, and Reek's still in his feelings. He's still not trying to bring Brayden in. So next scene, we see Granny and Reek. I forgot her name, the granny name. Fuck, I forgot her name. I wrote it on here later. I'll come up with it later. But yeah, Reek and his granny, they talking, and Granny, Granny really know the real Reek. She know what's really going on. So she was trying to talk some sense into him. You need to get out this life, or you end up like your daddy. It kind of felt like foreshadowing, bro. Like, I know Tariq's the main character, so I mean, obviously they're not just gonna kill him, but I feel like at the end of this series, whenever the last season is gonna be, whether it goes to season 4, 5, or 6, or the original Power or whatever, 7, I think this show is gonna end with Reek dying, paying for what he did for his father, or paying for everything that he's done. Ultimately, I think that's how they, or prison. I think he's gonna pay for this shit for real. But it just kind of felt like foreshadowing, because she just like warning him, telling him like, you need to relax, get out this life before it's too late, Reek. And he's telling her, he's like, mama, or what is her name? I don't know. It's gonna come up. But Granny, he's saying, Granny, you right. So then next scene we have Drew. He agrees with Gordo, to slide on the Russians. And Gordo, he know the real, so he trying to chill, but he like, Bet, let's go slide. So then next scene, Diana, she throwing a little party, little kickback with light skin Keisha fine ass and fucking Diddy son. Like this nigga randomly on Ghost. That's crazy. But yeah, they're having a little kickback and Reek comes through and everybody dipped because they already know what's going on. So then Reek comes through, Diana vents to Reek, they're venting together. You know, Diana loves Reek, bro. You know, we seen that since season 1. She loves Reek. They got a crush, bro. She got a thing for Reek. You know, so she blushing and shit. She happy, you know, she happy to see bro. And Brody Salim tries to stop by with some flowers. And everybody's at the door laughing at this nigga like, you know she got company. And he like, what? He like, what? That's my boo. You know what I'm saying? What's going on? And they like, yeah, you probably don't want to go in there, bro. So then Diana, she's crazy. She smashes Reek. Everybody trying to say she a hoe, but like this is normal. Like females be doing this. But you know, she smashes Reek and you know, Salim was, you know, she just broke things off. She didn't really break over with Salim. She just told him to leave. But I mean, if that's not her nigga like that, you know, she just single, so she just doing her thing. But she let Reek smash and I just thought this one scene was funny. She asked Reek, like, she stressed. Reek's like, what's going on? What's on your mind? Why are you stressing? And Diana says, my mom wants me to do the eulogy, but I just don't know if I could do the eulogy. And then Reek is like, just talk about your dad like he was alive. The simplest shit ever. And Diana's like, you know what? Thank you, Reek. And I'm just thinking like, when I was in college or in late high school, when I was talking to a chick and she asking me for some advice and I say the most basic shit ever, like, oh, you just gotta keep a smart mind or some dumb shit, and she just like, you know what, see young, you're right, girl, you're right, baby. It just felt like that type of moment, like nigga just said the simplest shit ever, and Diana she loved this nigga, so that shit was funny. But I actually thought this is actually one of my favorite scenes from this little period of the show. Is one of my favorite scenes, cause then right after that, well actually no, that's later. But this is one of my favorite scenes from the show, cause you know I you know Diana, I like Diana, you know what I'm saying. But next up we got Drew. He starts he's flirting with this chick cause he about to do this hit on the Russian. This nigga's hilarious, like bro, this man got the number and everything, like he trolling. But then we got the Russian nigga. He's hella rude. He's like, drop the drinks off, get the fuck out of here. Drew just starts crashing out. He stabs the nigga, and I'm just thinking in my head like, why are you stabbing him, bro? Like he's gonna live, bro. And you said don't fuck with the Tahadas, so now this nigga knows, you know. And we see that what happens later after that. But yeah, so Drew does the hit on the Russians for his father, who he thought that killed his father. And then next up we got Effie. She tries to blackmail She tries to blackmail Diana into dealing with her. She's like, you know, I've been cut out, but you gotta keep this away from Reek. And then Diana, you know, she opens up the door and there go Reek. That boy Reek a fool. So now Effie knows that Reek and Diana, you know, is with each other and they were sleeping around or whatever. Reek cold. Reek got a little rotation going. He ain't waste no time. You know, he got that dog in him. Real nigga. I'll just say that. But next scene, Braden, his fine ass girlfriend, I don't know her, I forgot her name. Is it Nikki? I don't know, Nicole, I don't know. His girl fine as fuck. But she meets up with Braden and more blackmail's going on. More blackmail. I really don't, this was boring, but I guess she wants a cut out of something. I don't know, I wasn't really paying attention. Next scene, Diana, she takes some bricks on the roof and puts them in a little stash spot, and it shows that she's on camera because we know, as in previous episodes, that Blanca and Jenny set up cameras on the roof because Lauren had mentioned that Reek was going on the roof and shit. So now Diana's on camera putting bricks in the roof, so that's just gonna go more towards the Rico, so that sucks. And then next up we got so Reek's about to dip with his granny. And then Noma's henchman is following this nigga to the train, and they was like, fuck no, you ain't going nowhere. This is crazy. This kind of reminds me of when Ghost was, when he had that one dude that he was working for, that one Russian dude. I forgot his name, but he was working for him, and, you know, him and Tommy was trying to figure out how the fuck they gonna get out of this. It kind of felt like that, because, Like Reek and them, they not finna get off from Noma easily. But what was Reek thinking? Like, you thought you was just gonna go away? Like, these niggas followed y'all to Italy. Why would they not? I don't know what that nigga was thinking, bro. He just lying to his big mama. That's what it is, big mama. That's her name. Just lying to his big mama, like he really finna quit the game. But he tries to leave, and Noma's henchmen stops him. They saying you ain't going nowhere. They kidnapped this nigga, and I mean, obviously they let him go. They didn't do nothing to him. They was trying to interrogate this nigga. But anyway, he calls his big mama and tells, you know, cause he didn't ever meet with her. He's saying he's gonna put her with in witness protection with Mama and Yaz, you know, with Tasha and Yaz, you know, his little sister. And she says she doesn't want to leave him, but I think that was a good move for Reek. So W for Reek for doing that. Next up, we got Lorenzo's funeral. I was starting. It's crazy. I was starting to like Lorenzo. I started feeling bad for him when Kane was like punking him for the last couple episodes. You know, I was starting to like his character, but yeah, it's his funeral. And then right after the funeral, the Russians pull up with them choppers, pull up with them sticks at and aiming at the Tejadas, and it's a drive-by outside of Lorenzo's funeral. Just crazy, man. Just crazy. But it was a failed mission. This is actually pretty embarrassing because the Russians pulled up and tried to do a drive-by, and they all end up getting shot except for the driver. Failed mission. This did not end well for them. Like, just terrible drive. It's probably the worst drive-by I ever seen, bro. Like, they literally didn't hit nothing. But Monet is like, hey, we good. She tells Kane we good because Kane tripping. He like, you know, he finds out that he's like, why are the Russians coming after us? And Drew's like, yeah, I you know, I did that for us. I did that for Pops. And Kane's like, what the fuck? And Monet is just like, nah, Drew did the right thing. We good. Ain't nobody hit. And Drew's just like, yeah. So I think we're going to see more of a power struggle in the future between Kane and Drew. Each of them want to take their dad's spot in the family. So, you know, it's going to be a lot of competing going on. But I see Drew doing more of the crashing and Kane's playing it more smart. So it's almost like they switch roles this season, you know, in a sense. Yeah, so anyway, what was I talking about? So, yeah, they tried to slide at Lorenzo's funeral. That didn't end well. So, next up, Kane pulls up on Effie. And another one of my predictions, and I don't even think this is a prediction. This is a spoiler. But definitely Kane is going to smash Effie. But he pulls up on Effie. He offers her a business proposition. Of course, again, behind Tariq's back. He's going to smash. Of course, Effie takes it because she need that bag. So there's that. And then next we see Reek and Brayden. They talk. They're literally Ghost and Tommy. But they get back cool with each other. And they, you know, they agree like we need each other. And then so Brayden lets Reek get his internship back, and then Reek lets Brayden back in the game. And then Lauren hits up Reek saying they need to talk. And then next in the final scene of this episode, Davis calls Monet. He tells her, you know, everything's all good. You need to lay low. The feds picked up the Russians, so it ain't gonna be no war right now. And they hang up. And then finally, Monet, she starts seeing a ghost. She sees Lorenzo's ghost. And he's telling her, like, you know, your past is going to catch up with you. This shit was really creepy. I ain't gonna lie. When I was watching this last night, it was like 1 in the morning. I was kind of creeped out. I was on my couch, like, kind of like, what the fuck? But, yeah, we see a ghost on ghost. I guess that's not really too unfamiliar. But, yeah, man. So Monet was spooked out to end the episode, and man, I just don't think this is gonna end well. I really don't think Monet's gonna make it out of season 3, man. But yeah, man. Overall, another fire episode. This season's been very firepower. I've been very tapped in every episode. So next up, y'all can look forward to my Snowfall finale review. And it's your boy C Young. So it's another episode of Cecaps, and we back with it. I hope y'all tap in, man. Appreciate y'all.